Hello, boys and girls. Today we're going to work on Unit 8, Changes. So we're continuing on with Module 2, Patterns, Structure, and Change. So the first session 1, is called Grandma's Picnic Basket. Here we go. Grandma's Picnic Basket. Have you ever seen a basket like the one in the picture? What do people do with a basket like this? Has anyone ever taken a picnic lunch in the park? So think about your own family. Have you ever seen a picnic basket like that? Well, here's a little story about Grandma's picnic basket. Sarah and her little brother Sammy were spending the week in the country with their grandma. The two children were bored. They had played every game and read every book in the house, and they couldn't think of anything to do. Kind of sounds like my kids right now, being at home. Grandma's picnic basket continues. Finally, Grandma said, Sarah, why don't you look upstairs in the attic? I think you'll find my old picnic basket up there somewhere. You and Sammy can pack a nice lunch in that basket and take it out under the big tree down by the stream. I'm going over to the neighbor's house for a while, but you know where to find everything you'll need in the kitchen. Right? Right, Grandma. I'll take care of it. Sarah ran upstairs to the attic. It was hot, dark, and dusty, but Sarah was determined to find the basket. She looked everywhere and finally found it in a corner under a pile of old blankets. She grabbed it, ran back down the stairs, set it on the kitchen table, and started making sandwiches. Sammy came running into the kitchen. What's that, Sarah? It's a picnic basket. I'm packing a lunch for us to take down to the big tree. I already put a peanut butter sandwich in there for you. Can I see? Without waiting for Sarah's reply, Sammy lifted the lid and peered into the basket. Oops. Sorry about that. How come there are 2 peanut butter sandwiches in there? I thought you didn't like peanut butter. Sarah frowned. I don't like peanut butter, and I only put 1 sandwich in there. But come look, there are 2 sandwiches in here. I don't know what you're talking about, Sammy. Here, put these 2 apples in the basket, will you? Yeah, second so I can switch the page. It's not switching for me. There we go. Sammy took the 2 apples from Sarah and put them in the basket. He closed the lid and waited a moment. He had a funny feeling about this basket. He opened the lid again and saw not 2, but 4 apples sitting inside. He grabbed some of the napkins that were sitting on the table, counted them carefully, 1, 2, 3, put them into the basket, closed the lid, and opened it again. He reached inside slowly and carefully took the napkins out and counted them again. There were 6 of them now. I bet some of you have already figured out what's happening every time something's put in that basket. Sarah, this is really weird, he said. What are you talking about? Sarah whirled around and saw 2 sandwiches, 4 apples, and 6 napkins sitting on the table next to the basket. What are you doing? Where did that stuff come from? It's this basket. It makes more things. If you put something in, you get more out. Sarah glanced over at the counter and saw 4 oranges in a bowl. She grabbed the bowl, dumped the oranges into the basket, closed the lid, slowly opened it again, and pulled out 8 oranges. Sammy ran out of the kitchen and came back with 5 of his favorite Matchbox cars. Let's see if it works with things you can't eat, like my toy cars. He dropped the little cars into the basket, closed the lid, waited for a second, opened it again, and started pulling out one car after another. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, now before I turn the page, if it works, how many will come out? If 5 went in, what do you think? Let's see. Now we can check your answer. Oh. So here they made a little chart. It says, do you notice any patterns? How do the numbers in each row compare to each other? So here's what went in. 1 sandwich, out came 2 sandwiches. 2 apples went in, 4 apples came out. 3 napkins went in, 6 napkins came out. 4 oranges went in, 8 oranges came out. 5 toy cars go in. How many will come out? Got it figured out? Does it make sense that Sammy would have pulled out 10 toy cars? Think to yourself. Yes, it does, because what keeps happening each time? 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Sammy pulled out 10 toy cars in all. It works, Sarah. It works with toys. What if we put something alive in there, like Sammy pulled the basket down onto the floor, opened the lid, and started to step into it? Stop! Yelled Sarah. Don't you dare get into that basket. One of you is more than enough. Shut that lid right now. We have to think about this before we put anything else in. Sarah stared out the window, trying to figure out what to do. Meanwhile, Sammy slipped out the back door and returned with an armful of kittens, 10 to be exact, wrapped up in a blanket. The 2 mother cats trotted along behind him, concerned about their babies. If Sammy puts 10 kittens into the basket, what will happen? How many kittens will come out? Take a second and think about it before we go on. If 10 go in, and here it is, added to the chart, how many will come out? You got it, 20 would come out. Grandma stepped into the kitchen at that very moment. She took one look at the sandwiches, apples, napkins, oranges, and toy cars scattered all over the kitchen table. Sam holding the blanket full of kittens over the open basket, and Sarah, who was screeching at Sammy to stop, and started laughing. She took the blanket out of Sam's arms and set it gently on the floor. She sat down, pulled Sammy and Sarah into her lap, and said, My, what a time you've had while I was gone. I've always wondered if the old doubling basket would really work. You mean this isn't the picnic basket? Cried Sarah. No, honey, I should have gone up to the attic with you. The picnic basket is hanging up on the wall, probably too high for you to see. My grandma gave me the doubling basket many years ago. She told me to keep it safe, but not to use it unless I absolutely had to. It's been in our family for more than 100 years, and so far we've never needed to use it. I guess I should have found a better place to hide it. So let's stop and think about a few questions. Why is this called the doubling basket? You got it, because everything that goes in doubles. We go from 1 to 2. It's a double. 2 plus 2 is 4. That's a double. 3 plus 3 more is 6. That's a double. So that's a good reason for it to be called the doubling basket. And I go back to the questions. Why do you think Grandma's grandma told her not to use it unless she had to? Yeah, I could think that could be kind of dangerous. You never know what someone might put in there. Just like Like the little boy wanted to put himself in there. That could have been a problem. When might a family need to use a doubling basket? When do you think one would come in handy? Okay, yeah, maybe when they need more food. That would be a good idea. And then how would you use the basket to help your family or friends? Right now, I can imagine some of the answers some of you might say. I bet some of you are putting toys in there. Some of you are probably putting Xboxes in there. Some of you might be putting yourself in there. I bet some of you even said you would put money in there. I wonder if that would work. All right, well, you all are done with Grandma's picnic basket. And it is your lucky day, kind of, because if you go into the math materials, I'm going to click this arrow, and I'm going to show you that for session 1, it's empty. There's nothing in there. But what you can do if you want a little more math practice today is you can look all the way down at the bottom where it says extra math. And if I click that little arrow on the side, I can see all of these pages that are possible. These are pages that we were going to do as number corner. You will recognize some of them. So maybe you want to pick 1 or 2 of them to practice. There's some decade pages in here. Let me open one to remind you what they look like. Just taking a second. You can see it loading. So maybe you want to work on one of these pages today where you're practicing writing the numbers. Today is numbers in 140. Or another fun one that I know you guys normally like is there is a picture grid. I'll open this one up and show it to you. But you're welcome to do any of them or none of them. But I know some of you like a little bit of extra practice. For this one, it's 10 more or 10 less. And you need to follow the rules at the top and color in the number grid. And then you'll see the mystery picture. So those are some choices if you want to keep on working on your math today. All right, that's it for today. I hope you enjoy the rest of your day, and I will see you again soon.